Okay, so let's take a look at your presentation. I've got the video, and then we'll make a video together as we look at it. Let me share my screen, and we'll start by just looking at the video that you guys made. And
Students, did you guys catch that basketball game earlier or what? No? Oh, it was good.
Who's playing?
Who'd you beat? The good guys.
Good morning, team.
Who'd you guys beat?
How's it going, everybody? My name's Calvin Moore. I'm the VP of Operations for Monsanto Inc. here in St. Louis, and we're here to talk to you today about some business writing skills and how that can help you in your career or whatever you're looking to do down the line. As you probably noticed, there's a couple of my team members sitting around the room. Please feel free to introduce yourself, ask them any questions you might have or anything like that. With that being said, this is Hector, my partner.
Hi there. For those of you who may know or might not know, Monsanto is a chemical and pharmaceutical company. Our headquarters are based here in St. Louis. So we really want to get involved with the community, help Riverview Gardens High School out, and maybe contribute to you guys' success throughout your future endeavors. So to begin with, writing is a way to your guys' future. So it allows you to develop crucial communication skills. So within communication, you might have verbal body language, you might have a physical language, but you could also write down what you think is important. It allows you to redefine your ideas and allows you to share the truth with other people around your community. So it is important to take these 5 business writing skills into consideration.
Yeah, so with that, some of our top skills that we'd like to help you guys with is, number 1 is knowing your audience. Today we knew that we were going to come in and going to be presenting to you guys here at Riverview High School, and we wanted to make sure that we really knew what you guys were about. So with that, how about you, sir? Are you interested in anything, sports or video games? Some music, right on. You like some 2 Chainz? 2 Chainz is awesome. How do you think he makes his music?
Well, hey.
Like what? What was that?
Hey, I mean,
He just, he writes it. That's awesome. Writing, is great. It can help you in all kinds of fields. Our second point would be to appeal to the reader. So if you're trying to write a certain type of music for somebody, then you're going to want to, know what type of person you're trying to reach out to. You want to know what they're into, how you can make an emotional connection. And that's really, helps show the benefits for the customer, as well as, if you're just a listener of the music that you like. 2 Chainz is awesome, man. Another great thing is presenting solid facts. We want to make sure that all the information that we're putting down on the paper, we're writing to the people, is true and 100% true. We don't want to put any misleading information out there for other people to, read and start passing along to the world. We want to make sure that everything's perfect. And with that, we want to be clear and concise. When we're trying to get our points across on paper, we want to make sure that we're, not blabbering on about stuff that's just, not important to the main subject. And, you can see that as well in music. So.
Awesome. So to take those 5 writing skills into consideration, it allows you to connect. Just like 2 Chainz connects with you through music, you can do this to your community, to friends and family, to your future employers, also just to yourself. So it really allows you to explore different ideas, different perspectives, and just different ways to express yourself. It allows you to reflect on the world, different situations, different topics, and it also allows you to reflect on those ideas and make your own interpretation on what you think the words mean, or different phrases, or really just the world around you. Once you have that connection in your writing, you're allowed to connect through different relationships and just have a more observant look throughout the world.
Yeah, so with that, we just wanted to kind of get a feel for what you guys might, use writing for in your life today, or maybe what you might see it coming for you down the line. I just had a student here ask me a question like, I'm not going to go to college. Why would I, give a shit about writing, and that's fair, totally, but it doesn't matter what you do. Writing is one of the best ways to present what you know and present it in the proper way. It's a great way to make a first impression, and, if you're not going to go to college, you're not going to need to write those college applications, but you will need to make a report to, your boss or something down the road. And if you're not clear and concise about what you're trying to say, they're not going to, ask you to make that report again, and you're not going to make as much money. Writing has lots of benefits. Another one that we like to do all the time is just writing letters to our family. We love to write letters to our family, and that's super important. When you get a handwritten note from your grandson, man, your grandparents are gonna love that. And if it's just laid out perfectly, perfect. Yeah, it's really cool. So.
Yeah, and us at Monsanto just want to see you guys here at Riverview Gardens do well, whether that be in your social setting, in your career, in your personal settings. We really want to see you guys exceed. So us here at Monsanto are here for you guys. If you guys have any questions or any comments, please feel free to reach out to me and my team here in the room, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys and guide you in your future endeavors. Thank you.
5 minutes and 50.
Okay, so I got to tell you, I like your presentation. I'm sorry, Calvin, that I think I hurt you with the way I reacted when you tried to reach out, and I want to take a look at that a little more, and let's see if we can't learn some stuff from that.
Students,
Did you guys catch that basketball game earlier or what? No. Oh, it was good.
Who's
Beat 'em.
playing?
So,
Who'd you beat?
The good guys.
good morning,
Good
team.
you guys.
so it was a great shot to try with the basketball. What the hell? You unfortunately ran into the one student who just doesn't care about basketball. How sweet is that, right? There's nothing you can do, but you tried, and it was a good way to connect with the audience because it was one of the VPs of the company engaged with the audience and trying to make something happen. So that's a really good job. Sorry that you ran into that one student that could care less about b-ball, but there you go. That's not your fault. You did the right thing by taking a shot at that.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Calvin Moore. I'm the VP of Operations for Monsanto Inc. here in St. Louis, and I'm here to talk to you today about some business writing skills and how that can help you in your career or whatever you're looking to do down the line. As you probably noticed, there's a couple of my team members sitting around the room. Please feel free to introduce yourself, ask them any questions you might have or anything like that. With that being said, this is Hector, my partner.
Hi there.
So again, it was a great idea to put your teammates, your fellow VPs throughout the class. That was brilliant. I can see how that would work really, really well at a high school because the kids are going to sit there and go, wow, these guys are accessible. They're real. All of a sudden, they're not this big vice president person with a suit and a tie that is inaccessible. They're just human beings right there with them. So again, I want to really commend and compliment you guys of thinking about that idea. That was an excellent thing. Great stuff. Way to go. Calvin, again, the way you opened it up was really good. You made it clear that this was going to be there. You're there to help us, your class, the class you're working with, to do better and to do well. And so we know, the audience knows exactly what this is going to be about. You've made it really clear. And then your handoff over to Hector was great. I'm just trying to be a little funny here. I mean, Hector's was bouncing around so much. I don't think it would have been fair not to let him say anything for any longer. And so away we go. So Hector's very cranked, very happy. The body language is very genuine. And it fosters excitement, which is really cool.
For those of you who may know or might not know, Monsanto is a chemical and pharmaceutical company. Our headquarters are based here in St. Louis. So we really want to get involved with the community, help Riverview Gardens High School out, and maybe contribute to you guys' success throughout your future endeavors. So to begin with, writing is a way to your guys' future. So it allows you to develop crucial communication skills. So when the communication, you might have verbal body language, you might have a physical language.
So let's take a break here. Hector is talking really well. He's projecting, he's easy to listen to, he's engaging. He's a fun guy, and it's important with high school students to make this fun, right? I mean, these kids aren't quite that serious yet because they're high school kids. And he's making it clear that he understands that, and the way he's presenting just can't help but get you excited about it. So you're doing a really good job here, Hector. You're really helping your audience engage. And so you guys are really nailing this in a really good way.
You could also write down what you think is important. It allows you to redefine your ideas and allows you to share the truth with other people around your community. So it is important to take these 5 business writing skills into consideration.
Yeah. So with that,
Again, perfect transition, right? Calvin knew when Hector was going to be done. He was ready for it. It was brilliant, really, really well done. And I'll apologize in advance. Calvin, you really, really did your best to reach out. My role this time through was to be an unpleasant student who was just so completely indifferent to everything. And I think I may have hurt your feelings a little bit. And let me address that in just a minute. Well, actually, let me address it now. When you get that from your audience, I think it does hurt. And I think it hurts because you were being absolutely authentic. You were putting yourself out there. You were giving us something to connect with. And one kid responded back in a really harsh way. So let's keep going forward, and then I got some more thoughts on that. Okay.
some of our top skills that we'd like to help you guys with is, number one is knowing your audience. Today we knew that we were going to come in and going to be presenting to you guys here at Riverview High School, and we wanted to make sure that we really knew what you guys were about. So with that, how about you, sir? Are you interested in anything, sports or video games? Some music, right on.
So I mean, look at that, right? You just Calvin, you're all over that. It's just music, right on. How cool is that? The kid ought to really be appreciating the fact that you're reaching out. And unfortunately, he's not. But that has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the kid in the audience, me, in this case, in the role I was taking on. It had nothing to do with how you responded. You responded immaculately, perfectly, exactly how you want to.
2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is awesome. How do you think he makes his music?
Well, like, hey,
Well, like, hey, right? You're going to get that from high school kids. And that's a tough one to deal with. Again, though, you did what you needed to do in that situation, and you made it as easy as is humanly possible for that kid to connect with you. And that's what you need to do. So you did that perfectly.
Like what? What was that?
hey, I mean,
He just, yeah, well, he writes it. That's awesome. Writing, is great. He can help you in all kinds of fields. Our second point would be to appeal to the reader. So
Now, I interpret your body language and the tone of your voice to suggest that you really did get hurt a little bit. And that's the risk you take when you're an authentic speaker. You can get hurt when you're at the front of the room presenting. And the best way to get over that is really just practice. As time goes by, you'll make enough presentations and you'll see that kind of shit often enough coming from your audience that you'll just get used to it and you'll be able to let it wash, and you won't get into a place of uncertainty. You'll just know that that's what you get from people sometimes, and you can let it go. And you're going to learn how to do this, Calvin. I know you will. And you're going to be really good at handling that because you already handled it pretty well here. It's just hard. And again, I sincerely apologize. I am sorry that the behavior that I portrayed from the kid was hurtful to you, but let's keep going.
if you're trying to write a certain type of music for somebody, then you're going to want to, know what type of person you're trying to reach out to. You want to know what they're into, how you can make an emotional connection. And that's really, helps show the benefits for the customer, as well as, if you're just a listener of the music that you like. 2 Chainz is awesome, man. Another great thing is,
And you did it again. You let the student know that you thought 2 Chainz is awesome. You really reached out. You went back to it and let the kid know that you care. And that is absolutely beautiful. I mean, that's just exactly what you want to do. So you handled it exactly perfectly well. Way to go.
solid facts. We want to make sure that all the information that we're putting down on the paper, we're writing to the people, is true and 100% true. We don't want to put any misleading information out there for other people to, read and start passing along to the world. We want to make sure that everything's perfect. And with that, we want to be clear and concise. When we're trying to get our points across on paper, we want to make sure that we're, not blabbering on about stuff that's just, not important to the main subject. And, you can see that as well in music. So.
Awesome. So did you take those 5?
And so you went back to it again at the end to let me know, let that kid know that you understand that what you have to offer can relate to what that person thinks is really important. What, 3 times or 3 times I think you did it. It's excellent. Way to go. You keep reiterating and showing again and again and again that you care and that you're into it. It's really well done.
Skills into consideration. It allows you to connect. Just like 2 Chainz connects with you through music, you can do this to your community, to friends and family.
So there's the 4th time. Way to go, Hector. Again, you're doing exactly the same thing. This is coming across really naturally. You're doing exactly what Calvin's doing, which is being authentic, being yourself, and going, hey, this is what matters to the kid, so let him have it. And that's have it in the positive way of, that's what matters to you, cool. This is where we're going to go. And that's really well done. Again.
Your future employers, also just to yourself. So it really allows you to explore different ideas, different perspectives, and just different ways to express yourself. It allows you to reflect on the world, different situations, different topics, and it also allows you to reflect on those ideas and make your own interpretation on what you think the words mean, or different phrases, or really just the world around you.
So 2 things that I want to comment on. First of all, again, Hector, you're talking with us. You've got a good sense of the things you want to say. You're not coming across memorized. You're coming across very loose, very relaxed, because you know what you want to say and you're just putting it in your own words. And that's exactly what I was encouraging you guys to do. And it's absolutely wonderful to see you guys doing it and doing it so well. It's really excellent. So let me offer a little critique. You're speaking a little fast. Try and slow down just a little bit. I know you're excited to see Louise again, and of course that's absolutely understandable. At the same time, just a little slower. Just jack it down a little less, not a lot, just a wee bit. So the reason I'm saying that is that your audience has a better chance of internalizing the words you're saying. You're throwing a lot of stuff at us. So give us a little bit more time to just let it register in our head and for us to internalize it, and then just keep moving on. Nevertheless, it's not like you're doing a terrible job. You're really excited. Your enthusiasm shows through. And that's really, really important, really valuable, and exceptionally well done.
You have that connection in your writing. You're allowed to connect through different relationships and just have a more observant look throughout the world.
And so with that, we just wanted to kind of get a feel for what you guys might, use writing for in your lives today, or maybe what you might see it coming for you down the line. I just had a student here ask me a question like, I'm not going to go to college.
So I love that you guys had that set up. That's really good. And it allows me as your teacher, your professor, to see how you would react to something like that if it happened. I think it's really clever. I think the dynamic of having both just a straight up presentation and at the same time, you're providing a little bit of a play for us to watch, I think was absolutely lovely. I'm glad you guys did that. It was very creative and it's very interesting. And I just think it's very cool.
Why would I, give a shit about writing, and that's fair, totally, but it doesn't matter what you do. Writing is one of the best ways to present what you know and present it in the proper way. It's a great way to make a first impression, and, if you're not going to go to college, you're not going to need to write those college applications, but you will need to make it.
Okay, Calvin, I'm going to stop again here for a second. You do have a bit of a tendency when you say stuff to sort of slap your hand against your leg a little bit. That's a touch distracting for your audience. So I'm suspecting it's a bit of a nervous tick or something. That again will disappear over time. And maybe it's a matter of just maybe feeling a little more confident in what you're saying and stuff. But do keep a little bit of an eye on it, and keep working at it with more and more presentations. And I'm confident that that will stop happening.
Report to your boss or something down the road, and if you're not clear and concise about what you're trying to say, they're not gonna
Four
ask you to
times,
make that report again.
5 times on the leg, 6,
Writing has lots of benefits.
7,
Another one that we like to do all
8.
the time is just writing letters to our family. We love.
So I'm hopefully I'm not I'm not beating this to death. You can just see it. You just constantly do that. Get the hands up a little higher, maybe. Something in there. I've got to leave that to you. I know you'll figure it out. I'm just saying, here's a behavior, here's a bit of body language, and what it projects is a degree of nervousness that's worth avoiding. So is it confidence on your part? Are you not 100% sure you know what you're going to say, and stuff like that? I'm not there to talk with you. Otherwise, I would ask you, and let's try to figure out what it is. It's not this horror story or anything. You guys are doing a great job. It's just noticeable, and it's something that is worth giving up so that your audience can connect with you even more than you're already letting us do, because you're so open and you're so accessible.
To write letters to our family, and that's super important. When you get a handwritten note from your grandson, and your grandparents are going to love that. And if it's just laid out perfectly, perfect. Yeah, it's really cool. So.
Yeah, and also Monsanto, just want to see you guys here at River Gardens do well.
Again, a beautiful transition.
In your career and your personal settings, we really want to see you guys exceed. So us here at Monsanto are here for you guys. If you guys have any questions or any comments, please feel free to reach out to me and my team here in the room, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys and guide you in your future endeavors. Thank you.
So again, we have this presentation that's incredibly smooth, incredibly connected. It flows incredibly well, and it doesn't look mailed in. It doesn't look like it's just memorized. It doesn't look fake. It doesn't look like you're going to say exactly the same thing to every single group that you're going to be talking to. It looks like you have some ideas that you want to share with us. Me as an audience member, I know that you want me to understand something, and you guys look like, stepping back, and you guys look like when you talk to another high school and another high school, another high school, it's not going to be verbatim the same thing. It's not going to be a canned presentation. You guys have some specific ideas. You know what they are. You want us to get them, and they're just coming out incredibly naturally and incredibly authentic. This is a great, excellent, top-notch presentation. You guys really killed it. You did a really, really good job here. Let's go to the questions.
5 minutes and 15 seconds.
I'd like to express myself.
Yeah.
Is it okay to use a fancy script-like font in business communications?
Well, it just depends on the type of letter or type of message you are sending. If it is going to be a really fancy and it's a calligraphy font, then maybe you don't want to do it too excessive, just because it's going to be really hard for your reader to understand it. So I recommend going with a more simple font. But if you're maybe applying to an art school or maybe something where creativity has a little bit more to play with it, then you would use that font.
Yeah.
And look at that. You told her just one time for a little bit, well, you're going to have to be a bit more formal, and you gave so much space to her idea of this notion of using fancy fonts and flowery stuff, and you're encouraging her to do it, and you're saying, make sure it's in the right place. In business, maybe you got to be careful, but if, let's say, you're going to art school, I mean, look at that. It just gives her so much validation that her idea is important, understandable, and at the same time, you giving a clear message that under some circumstances, not so great, without beating home on it or anything. It's really well done, Hector. It's excellent response to that question.
That goes along with knowing your audience and being able to appeal to the reader. Like I mentioned earlier, if you know that they really are impressed by handwritten letters with fancy cursive and everything like that instead of a typed out paper, then that's great, and then that's a great skill to have as well. So it really just comes with knowing your audience and knowing who you're getting to.
again, a great addition to what Hector is saying. And clearly you wanted to share that. And it was important for you to say that. And so Louise gets an answer from both people at the front of the room, and both people express understanding, and both people express care for the thing that matters to her, and you're both providing answers that are good. Don't give it up, and remember your audience, and your audience is going to determine which way you go, which is of course absolutely the right answer to give. Let's keep going here.
Any other questions?
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz, yeah.
Yeah, he's an excellent communicator.
So I want to like be like 2 Chainz and Big Sean,
Yeah.
42 Doug. How does any of this shit help me?
Well, I mean, it helps you out a lot because when you rap, you have to have a certain type of delivery. So say you want to be a musician and you want to have this certain type of persona or this certain type of perception. So first you'll know your audience, whether that's going to be teenage kids or suburban kids, your inner city kids. You want to know what they're interested in, but then you also want to know your interests and how to say that to them or project that to them. So that's kind of a crucial thing in communicating, is knowing, like he said, knowing your audience and how you want to project that message.
So this is again a perfect answer, and it's genuine, and so it really comes across real, which is great. I'm all excited here because I want to take a step back and I want to watch Hector answer this question, but I want to turn the sound off. Let's just watch his body language. Well, we're waiting for me to finish my question, but again, the body language. There we go. You can almost hear what he's saying, can't you? All the gestures with his hands and his arms they're so clear and they're so natural, and they emphasize points in little bits and pieces. I mean, we can see from him that this person has some things to say. He wants us to think about some stuff, and it's just great. I love that. That's just absolutely beautiful. I better stop complimenting you guys because I don't want you to feel that you're being over complimented. But let's go back. Well, you're not being over complimented. You've earned every single one of them.
Knowing your audience and how you want to project that message.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you write handwritten notes to your grandparents, do you get better Christmas presents?
No, but you get a bigger hug and some better cookies.
They'll still appreciate the note. They'll still appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, guys.
And again, I am just so blown away by how natural. Here, let me get out of the screen share. I'm just so blown away with how natural, easygoing, relaxed, accessible that you guys were, especially with the note at the end. You joked with her. You were able to connect with her, and it was fun. And you had fun with it. Both of you guys did. And that's what I want to emphasize here with this presentation. You gave us a lot of important, valuable information as an audience to help us understand stuff. You had fun with us. It was relaxed. It was easygoing and yet deadly serious. You had important things to say, and you made it easy for us to understand them. And perhaps most importantly, you made it really easy for us to know that you're approachable. If we have more questions, we can get a hold of you guys, and it will be comfortable. It will be okay. It'll be pleasant. It won't be stiff and formal, and we won't get intimidated because you guys are cool. You just are. And so the audience is also going to feel the same way about the other executives in the room. And I would think that the way you would finish this off after the Q&A is that each one of the executives in the room would immediately turn to a kid next to them and start asking some questions And maybe what you could do is slide back a little bit so that students on both sides of you can see the conversation. So you'd look on one side, then you'd look on the other side. So students on all sides see that this is a conversation with us. And if you hadn't thought of that, that's exactly how you would finish that off as a presenting team. And that would be really powerful. You guys would have a profound effect on the kids. Again, let's take it the next step. If that's something you're doing for real, make sure you have some business cards for the kids to get to give to the kids so that they can get a hold of you. And if you're willing to share a cell number, let's say, or have them text to you, a nice extra added little touch is you flip the card over and you write out your cell number yourself, even though it's probably on your card. But just by writing it out, again, it makes another personal touch, just like that letter you talked about sending it to grandma. Well, you guys as a team working with that class can create a really personal touch just by writing it by hand. It's just a really personal touch. So overall, it's an excellent presentation. It's absolutely lovely. This is the 4th time I've seen it. It's really exciting, and I really, really like it a lot. There's a couple of slips and goofs here and there along the way, but then that's my job, is to try to find things to help you with so that you can get better. And there's very few of them. This is an exceptional, top drawer, wonderful, open, authentic, easy to relate to presentation. Your team is seriously kicking ass here, and you got and seriously deserved an A+. So congratulations, job really well done, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.